Guys, let's talk about Paul Pogba. Well, we all know why he's been in the headlines constantly, whether it's his haircut, price tag, United, whatever you want to call it. Some of the criticism is warranted. Some of it, in my opinion, is just downright nasty and unfair. And we all like to banter other teams. It's part and parcel of football, but there has to be some context and some consistency. And I do believe he's being harshly treated. I mean, yes, he came for 89 million or whatever it was. Clearly not worth 89 million. He's not an 89 million player. He knows that himself. Nothing wrong with that. We all know football's silly nowadays, but he didn't pick that. We need to look at the context on which he arrived as well. He's arrived in a system that doesn't work. It doesn't work. You look at how he was at Juventus. Whether it was Marchisio, Pirlo, Khedira, whatever you want, he had defensively switched on people to make up his shortcomings. He had less responsibility in the defensive side. He's 23. Well, I think he's just turned 24. But you get where I'm going. So he's still naive and he's still not ready for the responsibility placed on him in the United squad. There's a lot of responsibility placed on Pogba, and to his credit, I applaud him because it can't be hard. You're going into a system that doesn't work. It's like a person who performs circus tricks. The person that goes on the little rope and walks and plays with fire. He can't do that if they don't set up his equipment properly. The equipment at United is not set up properly. Like when Arsenal signed Ozil, these sort of players need to go into a system that's working. It isn't working. I said in the summer, Jose's recruitment, he needed a midfielder, not necessarily Kante, but with that mindset, as in he lets other players shine, he makes other players play better, he's defensively switched on. He didn't have that, and you constantly see over the season, maybe not less so now, but you've seen Carrick brought back into the side after being cast off. You've seen Herrera in the side. You've seen all different chops and changes, and it's not fair. I mean, the guy is 23. Admittedly, he isn't as good as many thought he is when you look at him under the microscope in the Prem. But he's still a fantastic player, and he still has potential to be class. But at 23, 24. He does need to decide. Mainly for me, he needs to decide what sort of midfielder he wants to be, purely because he's getting of that age where you've got to start showing. I believe he can be a midfielder that can score a lot of goals. I don't believe midfielders score a lot of goals. Obviously, he's shown he likes to be a free spirit, contribute further forward and things like that. Jose's used him deep lying at some instances, and you do see in the game he stays deep lying and picks up the ball for his centre backs and things like that. So it's up to him. Obviously, he's got the physical capabilities to be a DM. I don't think that will happen. But it maybe later on in his career, in his mid-30s or something, that's something he considers. But he does need to pick a position. Another thing, I rate Pogba very highly. I believe he's en route to being one of the best midfielders in the world. But I will say, if we look at the other midfielders that are classed as the best, I'm not saying Verratti's better than him. I'm not saying Kroos is better than him. I'm not saying Modric is better than him or Thiago. But if you look at them 9 times out of 10, they're going to make the right decision with a ball, with a ball in regards to if they're in the final third. Is someone better? Is there a better option for a pass rather than shoot? Don't get me wrong, they still make the wrong option sometimes, but 9 times out of 10, again, they're going to make the right decisions. Pogba, for me, is more a 7 or a 6 out of 10. So he needs to improve that. He needs to improve his finishing. I'll give him that. There's a lot of times he's shown his lovely range of passing. There's a lot of times he's clipped it over the top in the Prem and whatever for United, and people haven't finished. I don't believe he's playing as badly as people make out. Obviously, he's gone from a team from Juventus to United. There's less room for hiding. He's surrounded by lesser players. He's gone into a system that isn't working. A lot of responsibility and a price tag placed on his shoulders. But this is a man who is used to it. He's still confident. I mean, I realised he's going to be a success when I saw it when United went to Stamford Bridge. And they got destroyed. But Pogba wasn't scared. He was still asking for the ball. He was still trying to receive it, still trying to make things happen. He's a very confident boy. He's used to this. He gets this at France. You saw during the Euros the hate Pogba gets. You know, whenever France play badly, he's one of the first to get it. So it's testament to the guy. He's got a lot of weight on his shoulders. I do believe he will get it right. He's 24 years of age, 23 years of age. Playing at Juventus, in the grand scheme of things, he hasn't been playing first-team football that long if you look at it now. Jose's been backing him. I believe Pogba will turn this all around. He'll turn this all around. Like Arsene Wenger said, at 23, 24, you think you know football when you don't. And that applies to Pogba. But he remains a great player. There's a couple games for United which United fans have told me he could have even won, Bournemouth in particular. But Pogba is a good player. 89 million, it's like people expect him to score 20 goals and and them sort of things. If you was watching Pogba, you know what he's about. You know he's still incredibly naive. You know he's still struggling to add that consistency in his game. But it will all come. There's a lot of things. Yes, a lot of criticism for Pogba is warranted. There is an element where he tries too hard, where he can keep it simple, where he should be doing better. But it's just unwarranted. There's players playing notably worse in that United squad than Pogba. Pogba stands up to be counted 9 times out of 10. If he's not affecting the game in terms of an assist or anything, he's involved. He's never hiding. I just can't speak of Pogba enough. The pivot hasn't helped him. When United fix up their side and next season or whatever, you will see a better Paul Pogba. I've got no concerns. This guy will be a great footballer for United. He will be a great footballer. The chopping and changing again hasn't helped Pogba. A lot of things haven't helped Pogba. But he is the scapegoat. He needs to be more calculated for me. It goes back into the naivety. As you get on, and it goes back into the point about Verratti. You need to rely less on the cuff, less on instinct, which Pogba does a lot, and more. It needs to be more calculated, more thoughtful. And he is adding that to his game, but it does need to come on a lot. 24. Look at the majority of world-class midfielders. What were they doing at 23? We just turned 24. What were they doing? Some were doing a lot, but some also weren't nobodies. He's got a lot of time on his hands. For me, the main thing is he just needs to pick a position in regards to midfield, what he wants to do, and the rest will click into place. Paul Pogba, I've got no concerns about him. He will be a great footballer. Purely as an outsider looking in, this is just my opinion on